Good morning, Shanda.
Morning, Oz.
How you doing?
I'm so
Oh,
glitchy.
God, we just kind of like slid in there today. Is that like slithering? Is that like
It's like
the
sliding into home base.
sliding in home base? Hey guys, we're gonna embed the show today. I don't know if you're gonna like it better or worse or different or whatever, but don't worry, we'll get the glitching taken care of. We just gotta straighten out our screens and resize everything. And good morning. Hey, Ox. Hey, Al. Hey, Ox.
Hey,
Patman.
Ox.
Pat the Batman fan. How you doing? Pat's been a busy guy lately. We haven't seen him. Thank you.
His chestnuts are roasting
His ch-
early with the weather.
oh shit. God, as long as you're not getting barbecued down there, are you got fires? I heard there was like wrath of God lightning strikes yesterday down there, Pat. Is that true? I anyway, God dang.
The wrath.
How are you, Shanda?
Oh, I recovered from last night's huge party.
Oh yeah, it was a party. You know that reminds me. I made a graphic yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I made a graphic for the next coming of Christ, and it's Joe Biden, and I put a big question mark on it. So
If you watched last night's convention, you would absolutely think that, man.
yeah, it was pretty. It was terrible.
I think they were nominating him for a patron saint position.
Patron saint Joe Biden.
Yeah, yeah.
You got to be kidding me.
Not compare according to what they were telling us yesterday.
Oh, you are kidding me. I mean, no, you're not kidding me.
I'm not
No,
kidding.
I think. Well, tell everybody what we did in case they weren't here. We kind of did the Beauty and the Boomer thing, right?
Beauty and the Boomer hung out last night and just smack talked the last night of the DNC convention and, of course, Biden's coronation.
Biden's coronation. I thought you were going to say corpse there for a minute. So
Well, yeah, we all know he's a corpse.
yeah, I just it's whatever. I do have I take exception, huge exception to everybody complimenting Joe on his speech. And the reason why I take exception, they said, "Oh God, he was just flawless. It was the best speech ever," and I had a real problem with that. Let me. That was a pre-recorded speech. I will bet my eye teeth, that thing was not pre-recorded and they had to do multiple takes, or they had
Yeah.
one of the best editors. They had Hollywood quality cinematic editors editing that clip. There is no way in hell that Joe Biden read that thing as coherently as he did. What was it, 30 minutes?
Yeah. Yeah. Come on. Like he can stand for 30 minutes, let alone talk for 30 minutes, let alone read a teleprompter for 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean everybody's, there are there were sayings. Yeah, there's just no way.
Oh.
I was dying, man. How's our sound today, everybody? My sound looks
We're
cool.
our sound seems to be good. Part of our issue is our sister channel on Uphill Media. So the Uphill Media Live channel is live right now with a fire complex in La Honda, California.
Oh,
So
Uphill maybe live. Oh, okay. No,
so we got our sister stream is live in the fire.
should I bring that up? Should we look at that?
Well,
Or?
I was just looking at it. It doesn't look like it's a cam view, so it's a steady cam view, and you can see just smoke coming over a hill, kind of towards whatever complex this is. I'm assuming it's John who's live,
Yeah, that's from their place down in.
right? He's got a lot of viewers in there, which
Yeah,
is good. Which is good.
let's take a look at that. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's
Oh,
peek
this
in.
it's the big smoky thing going on right there.
It's just a matter of time before that fire. Where there's smoke, there's fire,
Yeah,
right?
let me see if I can get that in here real quick. Anyway, yeah. Hi,
Great reporting from our other hotkey.
yeah. Hi, Insight and Awareness. I didn't say hi to Insight and Awareness. She's good morning.
Oh,
Good morning.
hello, dear.
Yeah.
Shanda, you are sparkling today. Oh, thank you, dear. I didn't sleep very well, so I don't feel like I'm sparkling.
Yeah, shit. You better be careful with that outfit. Nancy Pelosi might knock you down and want to make a mask out of
Oh, I don't have my throat mask on, damn it.
it. Anyway, this is the view from La Honda from Uphill Media Live. That's the smoke. It was a lot more brutal the last couple of days, but wow, that would be making me nervous. Big tough.
Yeah, I'd be very nervous
Oh,
too.
did you see the hummingbird? There's
I
hummingbirds. Look at the
did.
hummingbird up there.
Beautiful Hummer.
Yeah, the hummers are up there. Yeah, I think Laura's
Do
been
you
talking.
know that I have a hummingbird tattoo? I have lots of tattoos, but
Really?
I have a hummingbird tattoo, and hummingbirds come right to me. They'll literally land on my hand.
Well, let's have a show and tell. So let's show every tattoo. Stand up. Let's see what every
No,
tattoo
no,
can.
no. That's Rockfin exclusive.
Oh, shit. Okay. Okay.
I was involved in the Democratic Party, so most of my tattoos you can't see when you look at me.
Okay. All right. Just checking. Good morning. Good morning, Melissa. Melissa, she is talking about the fires. Democracy Now! Just reported. Let me see if it's up here.
Well, of course they use the prisoners to fight the fire, and they pay them, I believe it's $1.10 either a day or an hour. We haven't had clarity on that. And yeah, they'll leave them out in the field past their release date because they need the cheap labor. What a
Yeah.
beautiful little Hummer. You
See,
see that Hummer?
see our new toy we got. Everybody who hasn't seen it, we've been playing around with some beta testing. Oz is finally starting to learn to turn a couple of switches and throw a few buttons, or is it push buttons and throw switches? Anyway, yeah, we can put your comments above us here. So there we go. Yeah, yeah. So anyway, I don't know. Should we get on to the news? That's
Yeah, let's
yeah,
move
let's
to the news.
get on to the news. I just want to show, again, DNC night, the second coming of Christ is Joe Biden. So everything
Yep.
he said, he will do. All the promises he made, he swore he'd do. Keeping that in mind, let's start with the big D, or what do we call him, Pretty
The
Boy?
Big D, David Dole.
Boy.
He did a really good job of covering the convention. I think he was disgusted by it too, from what I saw. But this clip, the reason I brought it is because Bernie pretty much admits that progressives didn't get invited to the DNC. They weren't allowed to speak at the DNC, straight out of his own mouth.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, quickly, we have a comment here. I want to make sure I feature this. Philip Blair, I love those Tibetan prayer flags. Great Himalayan vibes. Yes, Uphill Media. And Ignorant Oz here always commented, why is John hanging his G-strings out on the clothesline? And I apologize, John, again, sincerely. But yeah, Philip Blair, thanks. Hey, good morning, Philip Blair. Okay, let's go back to David Dole. Without further ado, let's see if I can get it to start. How does this work, Shanda? Do I push the button?
I guess.
There is this confusion about
Can
her
we hear
nominating Bernie Sanders at this convention where Joe Biden's a nominee.
Okay, there we go.
I explained in that video. You can go back and watch it. It's a normal process. So Bernie Sanders hit the delegate threshold, meaning someone's going to nominate him at the convention. It happens every time. Tulsi Gabbard did it in 2016. AOC did it this time. But Bernie Sanders came out in an interview yesterday discussing how AOC wasn't exactly invited to the Democratic National Convention. Watch this.
Representative Ocasio-Cortez, should she have been given a longer speaking slot at the convention?
Well, I think there is some confusion about that. And I think the reason for the confusion has to do with the DNC and it has to do with the media. So let me tell you what happened, because it's not complicated. Bob, as you are well aware, at conventions, people who ran for president, who received a certain minimal number of votes, are entitled to have their name brought forth and have their delegates vote for them. I won a number of states in this this Democratic primary, and the people who supported me have a right to say, well, I voted for Bernie Sanders.
I voted for Bernie Sanders.
And that's all that this is kind of perfunctory. This is what is done in every
Did he say
convention. It's done
perfunctory?
in normal Republican
Yeah, he did.
conventions, Democratic conventions.
I don't know
I
that
asked
way.
Alexandria, we were told by the Biden campaign, which was fine, that you'll have 2 1-minute slots, one to nominate you and one to second you. And we had Bob King, who's the former president of the United Automobile Workers, one of the great unions in this country, from Michigan. Bob nominated me, and Alexandria seconded me. And I think what the DNC was saying is, she's speaking. No, I mean, they didn't invite her. I think they should have. That's a whole other story. They should have invited her. And more
What's the story there?
Well, I mean, the story is they should have had more progressives speaking, giving
Exactly.
them speaking spots. But this was just a perfunctory nomination and seconding of
Said
me,
it again.
of which there was 1 minute. That's
My
it.
head's gonna
And she was
break.
accused of not saying she supported Biden. She was nominating me. She is, of course, supporting Biden. So I think the confusion there rests with, I think, what the DNC was saying, and certainly media not understanding what happens at a convention.
I totally get that, Senator, but it's also a choice to give her that 1 minute nominating speech versus
No, I gave her that
6
1
minutes or 7 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. I gave her the 1 minute. Now, that was my choice. And if I wanted you to nominate me, I could have asked you. I could have asked anybody. I asked Bob King and Alexandria. But if your question is, should progressives, Alexandria and others, receive more time? Yes, I do think so.
So this is actually incredible. The DNC did not invite Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
No.
I had done a story a couple weeks ago now. You can go back and find it somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, where was Tulsi?
I don't know. Somebody sent me a link on where Tulsi was last night, but I didn't get a chance to
Where
watch
was
it.
Julian Castro? I mean, Tulsi got delegates.
And she wasn't invited.
Traditionally, anyone who got delegates is invited to speak, right? Oh,
Except for
never mind. They don't want any anti-war candidates there.
Keep that sentiment out of our party.
Yeah, gee, mini Christmas. It's just terrible.
I just love that Bernie clarified with him, like, no, I'm the one who asked her to speak. So she would not have been involved in the DNC convention at all if it wasn't for Bernie reaching out and asking her to do it.
The many faces of Bernie Sanders. You know what, guys? I'm going to tell you ahead of time. I'm gonna throw some shade at Bernie today, some pretty heavy shade. So don't take it personal. I'm just so done. I just
got to say, Bernie's knees probably are very sore this morning.
Yeah, it's killing me. It's killing me. But we're going to go into that in a little bit. What do we got up next? We got Trumpty Dumpty.
Trumpty Dumpty sat on a wall.
Trumpty Dumpty sat on a wall. This is great. What is this, Shanda? You brought this.
This is Jason Burmis. Okay, so Jason Burmis, I tell you guys all the time, he started out with InfoWars. You can find Jason Burmis over at the Rockfin. He was a researchist, but he is an independent documentarian now. And he flies above the two-party duopoly. He's not left, he's not right. Sometimes he breaks right, sometimes he breaks left. But the coverage on this story, this is going to be a big thing. You're going to hear a lot about this in the next 24 hours, I think. I think it kind of got washed over with the convention, but they arrested Steve Bannon yesterday. They charged him with fraud and mail wire fraud. You remember that campaign to fund the wall? Like, okay, screw it. The people are going to pay to build the wall if we can't get, our tax money to cover it. Well, turns out him and his buddies skimmed all that money and pocketed it.
Why?
Why? Because it was free money.
But I thought they're nice guys.
Well, they're helping figure out how to build the wall, so they should be able to use that money any way they want.
Well, shit, it's a good thing he had this now. Maybe Trump can pardon him before he leaves office.
Oh, no, this isn't the wall one, is it?
No, this is the QAnon.
Oh, this
one.
is the pedophile one.
Yeah, the pedophile.
Sorry, guys.
No, that's all right. You parsed the next one. They'll remember.
Yeah, I did parse the next one. No, this is the QAnon. Some mainstream journalists finally had the balls to ask Trump about Q and how he's fighting the satanic pedophile cannibals. And Trump's response is classic. Typical Trump, but
it is
kind of funny.
And before I play the clip, I had a discussion with one of our very good friends yesterday about QAnon and how we're burning up the word cred for the word progressives. They didn't say that, but we're burning it up. But
we'll talk about that because I don't agree.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I'm there's a hummingbird again. I got hummingbirds flying.
I know that beautiful hummingbird is still flying around on our other sister link.
Man, anyway. Let's hear Humpty Dumpty.
Like me, Trump addresses far-right QAnon conspiracy, offers praise for its followers. Trump praises QAnon conspiracists, appreciates support. And don't think they're not going to try to make this into like a white supremacist thing. Okay? So here we go. What you guys have all been waiting for. Again, get your questions and comments in. And I'll check the GoFundMe. And again, if you donate to the GoFundMe, put a question in. We'll put you at the top of the list. All right, here we go.
Cue the microdot.
The pandemic, the QAnon movement appears to be gaining a lot of followers. Can you talk about what you think about that and what you have to say to people who are following this movement right now?
Well, I don't know much about the movement other than I understand they like me
Yeah,
very
right.
much, which I appreciate. But I don't know much about the movement. I have heard that it is gaining in popularity, and from what I've heard, these are people that when they watch the streets of Portland, when they watch what happened in New York City in just the last 6 or 7 months, but this was starting even 4 years ago when I came here, almost 4 years, can you believe it? These are people that don't like seeing what's going on in places like Portland and places like Chicago and New York and other cities and states. And I've heard these are people that love our country and they just don't like seeing it. So I don't know really anything about it other than they do supposedly like me, and they also would like to see problems in these areas, like especially the areas that we're talking about, go away, because there's no reason the Democrats can't run a city. And if they can't, we will send in all of the federal, whether it's troops or law enforcement, whatever they'd like, we'll send them in, we'll straighten out their problem in 24 hours or less, okay?
Well, Mr. White, at the crux of the theory is this belief that you are secretly saving the world from this satanic cult of pedophiles and cannibals. Does that sound like something you are behind? Or
Well, I haven't heard that, but is
Bullshit.
that supposed to be a bad thing or a good thing? I mean,
Is that a bad thing or a good thing to save the world? From
I haven't heard that. You know, he
Cannibal.
always says that. I don't know very much about it. Anytime there's a question of something that is huge on social media, say it Julian Assange, or he always says, "Oh, I don't know much about that." Bullshit. He lives on Twitter.
Yeah, he does. He does live on Twitter. Again, okay, we look at the right, we look at the different groups around the country that have ideologies that vary from ours. Are we going to classify everybody as being either smart or stupid? How do we go about this? Because I'm sure that somewhere behind these Q people and the ultra right and everything, we have common ground, don't we?
Yeah, actually, we do have a lot of common ground with the Q people. Before they started all this Q bullshit, there was a lot of overlap between those on the far right and those on the far left, because we're informed to an extent and woke. The Q people, they remind me, they only have gone halfway, they're halfway awake is the way I look at it. And if they think that Trump is draining the swamp or, all these secret indictments or taking down the elite pedophile, Clinton deep state, you guys are wrong. They're all one big club. Trump is a part of it. Have you ever seen the picture with Melania and Epstein and Trump? And of course, the Clintons are at the same damn party. It's all one big club. And to think that he is doing anything about draining the swamp. Uh-oh.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Keep talking.
We're still good? Yeah, he's not. He's not. And
Yeah,
it's
well,
funny.
Rom says Q people tend to be against corruption. I think there is a real evil in our government. I've spoken with some of them, and they are a bit kooky, but they're highly misunderstood. And I will definitely give you that too, Brom. It's just like I will cite the same thing with MSNBS people. They are so poorly informed and propagandized that how can they possibly come to a cogent opinion without the information? And they'll say, well, Shanda, Oz, where do you get your information from? I get it from Rachel Maddow and Chris Hayes. Where do you get yours from, Shanda?
Not mainstream media, I can tell you that.
Not the Pfizer-sponsored media, the military-industrial sponsored media,
the 6 corporations that own all the media in the world or in the United States.
Yeah.
I do believe that we do have a problem with pedophilia, and I think that there is government agencies involved in it, and whether there's cannibalism and the whole adrenochrome thing going on, there's more and more evidence coming out that kind of supports that. But I don't believe that Trump is doing anything to stop it, to do anything to these people. And, this Bannon story that we're going to cover in a few minutes, he was one of those sealed indictments. So What is Trump going after Bannon? Is that,
I don't know.
like,
They talk about us eating our own as far as the populist progressives in this country, the populists. These guys, if you look sideways at them, they're going to chop you in half.
yeah, the QAnons kind of scare me as much as the Proud Boys.
Osama has a question here. So, Uphill Media, do you think Trump will actually pull troops from Iraq? No.
No, he tried to. He wanted to. I absolutely believe that Trump wanted to end the war, slow the wars down. But if you remember an interview he did about 3 or 4 months ago, where he just flat out admits that the military machine is too strong for him to do anything to.
Well, yeah, I think that was the same thing in a lot of cases. I'm not going to make excuses for Obama or the rest of them, but
Obama had the same problem.
Yeah,
look at Guantanamo.
Guantanamo. You see, there you go. Get out of my mind. What are you, a Bene Gesserit witch or something? What the hell?
I know, we share the same mind. I have been accused of being a witch, and I've probably had many generations of my ancestry burned at the stake.
Yeah, well, burned at the stake. Speaking of getting burned at the stake, God, you're just, get out of my head. Burned at the stake. Now, I'm going to throw some shade at Bernie here. This was the worst for me.
He won't notice.
This was the worst part of the convention for Old Oz here, because to see Bernie, let me just play it.
Is this Progressive Hollywood Squares?
No, this, yeah, no, yes, yeah, this is the presidential candidate Hollywood Squares, except it's missing Tulsi Gabbard, which I think she should have been in this one too, and maybe Mr. Starbucks for that matter. So let's listen.
Or any of the squad?
Any of the squad. Well, this for the candidates, I think, because you got your friend Amy Klobuchar there. I know you're going to have coffee with her later today.
I do love Amy. I would go out to coffee with Amy.
Yeah, I would too, as long as she didn't have any staples in her hand. Okay. All right.
Booker, welcome to everybody.
Can we see that?
Home.
Can we hear this?
I am very excited to present to you a group of people that ran in the 2020 Democratic primary against Joe Biden. You can think of this sort of like Survivor on the out interviews of all the people that got voted off the island. Bernie, don't you laugh, because I got questions for you, like, why does my girlfriend like you more than she likes me? But let's move on.
Because she's smarter than you, and that's the obvious answer, right?
That was pretty funny,
I'm
Bernie.
curious because Senator Sanders and Senator Klobuchar, you actually served with Joe Biden in the Senate. I'm wondering if you have any memories of what he was like as a colleague in the Senate.
Well, I remember one night when I was giving one of those floor speeches, and Corey, you know what this is like. No one was there. No one was watching. I was all alone, and I gave my speech with much vigor to a completely empty chamber. And I walked out of there, and I thought, I wonder if my mom was even watching this on C-SPAN. And at that moment, the cell phone rings, and I actually thought maybe my mom was watching.
I think it looks like Justin Bieber.
And you know who it was? It was Joe Biden. And that kind of goes to not only his kindness for calling me and being a mentor, but it also goes to how much he cares about our government and what people are saying, and that even when he's at home at night, he's watching and he cares.
He's always watching. That's creepy.
Know, did your mother watch the speech?
I know.
You remember the steak fry when we were waiting to go on? It worked out to where I was there the same time he was. And he pulled me aside at one point and he pointed to somebody who we both knew who was working on my campaign, but he'd known from before, and let me know that was somebody who'd gone through a family tragedy that Joe somehow knew about, and just thought it was important for me to know that about someone who was working with me. And I thought, over time I realized that was just basic to who he is, but that always stuck with me.
Elizabeth, do you have any remembrances as well?
I think the day I saw Joe the clearest was on the 1-year anniversary of the Boston Marathon bombing. And everyone, of course, was enormously honored to have the vice president here. But at some point in that speech, he shifted to the parent who had lost a child, to the man who had lost a wife, to someone who had experienced loss very personally. And he spoke to each of the families from the heart.
That's phenomenal. I want to ask,
from the heart,
what gets you excited about this idea of the inclusion
All right.
That's like my 5th time watching that. I'm sorry if I seemed preoccupied because I honestly don't give a flying rat's ass what any of those people have to say.
The problem I had with that is that, you know, during the primary campaign, they're all kind of going at each other and not in any really substantive way. It was like terrible. And now they're sitting around the table, the virtual table. They're old buddies, and they're singing,
shooting the shit,
yeah,
reminiscing.
they're singing the praises of Uncle Sniffer, Uncle Joe.
Yeah.
It's just
Uncle
like,
Gropey.
Can you kiss ass any harder in front of the American public? And Bernie,
it's unity, Father Oz, unity.
Yeah, amen. Yeah, amen. And here's your unity. That's what unity is going to get you with Father Oz here. I don't know, Shanda. I know that you've seen it over. I know Tim Black. I think he birthed a couple of goats last night when he was doing.
I haven't watched Tim Black's reaction.
I
but,
know he was, and I don't talk to Tim much at all, but when he's on. I gotta credit him, and he was just dying over this thing. I mean, look at Cory Booker there. He looks like somebody just grabbed him by the woohoo, and he's screaming. I don't know, Shanda. Should I?
I saw somebody in the chat talking about Michael Moore believing in conspiracy theories, but only the ones that are true. And I just want to point out that Oz and I tag team a Michael Moore chat the other day, and it was glorious.
Yeah.
It was very glorious.
Yeah, it was. Once you throw reality up there, unless it's not reality anymore. But this was painful. This just murdered me because Bernie was there just yucking it up with the yucks, and it's just like, guys, we got a pandemic, and you guys are it's all optics. It's this damn convention, no substance. The second coming of Christ, Joe Biden is going to have all these wonderful plans and all these policies, and everything's just going to be fine. I mean, no, not really. Anyway, moving on. I guess where are we going now? Are we going to go to Bannon? Let's go to Bannon. Can we go to Bannon, Mama?
Yes.
Okay. Mama Nazi muffin. Okay. Mama
Nazi muffin.
Okay, and this is Jason Burmis, right? This is
yes.
Let's see if we can get him on screen. Jason Burmis, you want to preface this a little bit?
Sorry, my daughter, who's living on the streets and has a lot of problems, just contacted me, and I haven't heard from her in a long time. So I'm trying to answer her while she has internet because it's very shoddy when I hear from her.
Okay, I'll run the clip.
So yeah, if you could roll the clip and let me get a message sent out. Thank you.
Okay, here we go. Might help if we had sound.
So anyway, that's that. So let's talk about Biden, Steve Bannon. Sorry it took so long to get to it, but this is crazy shit right here. So I probably should have done more on this, but the LARPer thing kind of sucked up a lot of time. So Steve Bannon, the man, the myth, the legend, the genius, right, has been arrested in New York, Southern District of New York, on fraud charges. Let's listen to a little bit of what Fox says, and then we'll continue.
Quickly back to Lower Manhattan right now, where Steve Bannon will again be facing formally these charges that he was trying to skim off the top of a $25 million We Build a Wall fund that promised that no money was going to anyone else but the building of that wall. David Lee Miller on what he could be facing right now. David Lee.
Hi, Neil. The court appearance is now underway. It is a remote court appearance because of the pandemic. So Steve Bannon.
That's not true. Steve Bannon walked right out the front door. Fox had that wrong. The New York Times published a photo of Bannon walking out the front door. If that's authentic, Steve Bannon, the former White House chief strategist, leaving Federal District Court in Manhattan on Thursday. Fox incorrect by saying that.
And is not actually in the courtroom. This is a electronic link. But moments ago, he entered a not guilty plea. The former campaign manager and advisor to President Trump is charged with 2 counts: conspiracy to launder money, as well as conspiracy to commit wire fraud. And this is based on a newly unsealed indictment that says a crowdfunding campaign for We Build the Wall raised more than $25 million, some of which Bannon and 3 other men allegedly put in their own pockets. A portion of the indictment says, and I quote, the defendants each received hundreds of thousands of dollars in donor funds from the We Build the Wall, which they used to pay for a variety of personal expenses, including, among other things, travel, hotels, consumer goods, and personal credit card debts.
So they do what a lot of the Democrats did here, right?
Right. This is my understanding is depending on how the wording is on the GoFundMe, that when you donate to a GoFundMe, you are agreeing to whatever use they want to do with that money, as long as it falls within the absolute goal. And all they have to say is, oh, well, we were using it to travel or to, build up support to build the wall. I think this is bullshit. This is the Dems. Bannon's definitely got some freaking problems, though. I think this guy has got some drug issues, too.
Well, yeah, but I want his hair because...
Speculation.
Yeah, his hair is the perfect gray, which I want, and it's nice and long. So there we go. Oz hair. That's all I care about. Do you think Bannon's going to serve any time?
I don't know. Will Trump pardon him? Well, Trump kind of hates him, right? Because they're fighting.
Okay. All right. Thanks for that, Chanda. That's a good deal. How's the chat going over there? It's a
sorry, guys.
So
I've got multiple devices. This is what it takes for me to do this show. And then I've got 2 devices going at all times. And then, of course, the studio, the Zoom.
Shit.
Trying to keep up.
How many arms do you have? Are you like in those old Sinbad movies and you've got all these
I'm like
arms?
Shiva.
Okay. I just checking.
The goddess of chaos.
The goddess of chaos. Here, let's Bernie Sanders did a tweet.
More Bernie Sanders?
And we haven't done a Wipey Award in a week or so. So the Wipey Award goes to Craig Pasta from Combo Couch. Medicare for all.
Pasta. Yeah, Pasta's done a good job.
So this is first time winner for Pasta over Combo Couch. Medicare for all is not a radical idea. But let me tell you what it is. It's a cruel system that causes 92 million Americans to be uninsured or underinsured. I didn't know it was 92 million during a pandemic, while the healthcare industry made $54.6 billion in profits during the last quarter alone. That's radical. Yeah, and Pasta says, so then why are you supporting a candidate that said he would veto it? So there you go, Craig Pasta, the Combo Couch Wipey Award today. I think he just broke it off in Bernie's eye with that one. Again, this is what we've got these days. Let's jump over to, can you explain to me what this is? What meme is this?
Honestly, I'm just taking it at one. Okay. So honestly, I'm just taking it one are you fucking kidding me day at a time.
Okay. So that switched up from just taking it one day at a time.
Yeah, that is kind of the theme of this year, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And did you give that to me or Amber? I thought you gave it to
Probably me. No. I was up all night. Who knows?
I know. But you get these out there and they go unshared. But I thought, instead of honestly, I'm taking it a day at a time. No, honestly, I'm just taking it one. Are you fucking kidding me at a time now? Right now? I mean, exactly. I think
language, Father Oz, language.
Oh, sorry. Here, let me do the sign of the cross and maybe lightning will strike. Somebody gave me this one. What's this? Portland?
Oh, yeah, Portland. Gosh, Portland's getting bad, guys. Really bad. And we're not getting a lot of information about it.
Yeah, so Portland police used tear gas to disperse Portland protesters as they march on ICE building for a second night, running amid anger that a significant portion of the 500 arrested are over 85 nights of unrest won't be prosecuted.
Wow. Did you see that interview that I dropped with the Seattle police officer on Sunday night who took a firework to the eye and got a black eye? His eye is not damaged. He hasn't lost his sight or anything. They did a 25-minute interview with him on King 5 News, him crying about how he's so traumatized because he was attacked by the people. This is a man getting hazard pay and the hypocrisy of him getting hit in the eye when how many times do we see protesters with 2 blackened eyes, freaking canisters lodged in their heads? I found it so disgusting.
Beat, broken bones, losing eyes. I think that
Exactly.
one lost the eye with the
losing eyes, losing limbs.
Pepper plastic bullets. So, well, yeah, and this is, I've got a friend of mine I talked to yesterday, and he's A to B to C, and I been friends ever since we were kids, but he wants to go in there and just mow all those protesters down because we need the police, and they're trying to make the police go away. And
dare you talk about defunding the police?
And I go, Jim, that might have been me, out there. His name's really Bill, but I said Jim because we're online. So yeah, I mean, it's how it's being propagandized.
Yeah.
Sure, there are a lot of people out there taking advantage of the situation, but I don't believe the majority of those people are with the protests. Why would you go to protest and then go rob a building? Why? I mean, is that if you're sincerely with the protest? But you can get in there and
there's
take advantage.
always opportunists in every crowd. I've been in a lot of movements, and there's always anarchists. There's always infiltrators. There's always instigators. But for the handful of those that are out there, they're always outweighed by peaceful protesters that are there to convey a message.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Osama number 5. Why is ICE in Portland? ICE is so inundated on the West Coast. Are you kidding? We're surrounded by ICE everywhere on the West Coast.
Yeah, I just ICE is another. We were talking in the green room. We got so much news today. We could do a 4-hour show, but I'm already getting sleepy with all the bad news. This Adam Keesley at Bernie Sanders would consider a job in Biden's cabinet. He tells WAPU Live, he says it would be dependent upon the position and the latitude he is given to implement his chosen policies. Okay, whatever. I mean, Bernie doesn't want to be Ralph Nader. That's all I can say once again.
No, he doesn't.
Once again. Let me see. We got, we didn't talk about the convention last night too much. Let me see what's on. I don't know what the hell this is. This is a clip.
Develop and deploy rapid tests with results available immediately. We'll make the medical supplies and protective equipment that our country needs. And we'll make them here in America, so we will never again be at the mercy of China or other foreign countries in order to protect our own people.
China.
We'll make sure our schools have the resources they need to be open, safe, and effective. We'll put politics aside. We'll take the muzzle off our experts so the public gets the information they need and deserve. Honest, unvarnished truth. They can handle it.
Bullshit.
So again, when he said on day one, here's what I'm going to do, I kind of thought maybe he'd talk about healthcare. No. I kind of thought maybe he'd talk about maybe UBI, direct payments, something specific in terms of an economic plan. None of that was in there. However, again, look, the bar is so low, people just want someone who's going to take this seriously and do the basics of government to make it so that they can get their lives back to normal. And he did a very effective job sort of making that return to normalcy case.
But I don't want to overemphasize. I want to emphasize one thing. Politically, it was very smart. It is something that people want. But you're right. I mean, look, the lost opportunity here, and I don't even think it's a bone to the left. It's just any politician should be doing this, right? Be
yes.
We are going to guarantee you that you are not going to be kicked out of your house as a result of this pandemic.
Yes.
You are not going to be destitute and bankrupt because of this pandemic.
Right.
Didn't hear a single word of that from the Democratic nominee. Not going to hear a lot of that from the Republican nominee.
Policy.
And I think that's a big problem. Right?
It's a massive problem.
And it's just, I don't, I don't know where it comes from. I'm so annoyed with the press for being what a transformative president and all this. I'm look, the guy is saying we're going to have PPE on day one of 9 months into a pandemic? Okay.
Great.
I mean, okay.
Yeah, PPP, that's what you're going to get. Personal protective equipment. There's a better acronym for that, I'm sure, but nothing of substance in this whole convention. It's Joe Biden's Jesus Christ or Buddha or whoever Mytor, I don't know. And
I was just halfway through seminary school.
yeah, I am halfway. I'm going to go back and start over because I'm failing. But yeah, it's you know, I need to get my pajamas with little kids on it. Okay. Anyway, Shanda, you want to chime on this before we jump into the next bowl of shit?
No, I have nothing to say about this bullshit.
That just made me sick.
We talked about it for the last 3 days. I'm over it. If you haven't figured it out, you ain't gonna figure it out.
All right, now here
trickle down PPP.
I want to credit Cristo Aviles, smart guy, younger guy, you know. He, you know, I know, not Ryan Grimm, but David Sirota. I like David Sirota too. I'm not so partial to Ryan Grimm. He's more establishment. But I'm going to credit Christo with hitting the streams, social media with his first yesterday. And this is a big effing deal. So let me just run this. It speaks for itself.
So Joe Biden's transition team, headed up by Ted Kaufman, is already signaling and planting seeds that they're going to be breaking their promises and embracing austerity if they win the election in November. And this is important because Kaufman, as the head of the transition team, is going to be far more responsible for what happens after November if Biden wins than anything said on the campaign trail, where lies aplenty will be told by Trump and Biden, and the transition teams will actually indicate what's going to happen. And what he said to the Wall Street Journal is very telling. He says, when we get in, the pantry is going to be bare. When you see what Trump has done to the deficits he has built with the incredible tax cuts, we're going to be limited. And basically, that's a hint. That's a signal to Wall Street. That's a signal to the capitalist class. That's a signal to the 1% that all the spending promises we've been making, however modest they've been compared to Bernie, however inadequate they've been, because even Biden, if he keeps all of his promises, will not do enough for working class people. Regardless of all of that, they're planning to break those promises and use the deficit, use Trump mismanagement as an excuse. And I don't doubt that Trump has mismanaged, but clearly they're trying to say that when Biden said we're going to have a public option, when Biden said we're going to invest in cheaper and maybe partially free post-secondary education, whenever we've said all of these things, we didn't mean them. And the excuse we're going to use is Trump did such a bad job running the country. I'm sorry, working class people. We can't keep your promises. Of course, there's no discussion here about fully reversing those tax cuts, and that helps to cover the deficit. There's no discussion about having even higher tax increases on the rich if necessary to offset the deficit, at least temporarily. So maybe Biden, if he has to break a promise, it's that he's going to raise taxes even higher than he's promising. That's not what they mean. What they really mean is every promise to regular working class and middle class Americans can and will be broken, and Trump will be blamed. This is standard neoliberal austerity politics.
Yep.
Run on progressive expansions and then govern, and you cut and you slash like the Republicans did. And
probably worse than the Republicans.
Probably worse.
Can I tell you, as a poor woman who lived on and off of state assistance while my children were young, it was the years that the Democrats were in office that I got hurt the worst.
It's like, okay, you got rid of Trump. Now you're going to give it to the architects of Trump.
Right.
They are why we have Trump today. And I'm going to say starting primarily with Bill Clinton once again.
Come on, you knew we were blowing smoke up your ass. Quit acting like you didn't.
Yeah, I mean, we're the adults in the room now. We're really going to bend you over, kiddies. So
that's what I always say. The Republicans screw you in the front. The Dems will screw you in the back.
Anyway, I just want to remind everybody, Biden has said previously that even Social Security is on the table. And in his speech last night, he went off on Trump about attacking Social Security and everything else.
Which was
I
awesome.
I wanted to make a meme of Biden with Pinocchio nose, but it's It's incredible. Anyway,
Amy Goodman actually called him out on that with Cornel West this morning and Ben Zealous, and
called
she
who
did a
out?
good job. She even showed the clips of Biden saying that he would go after Social Security.
Yeah, I mean, overall, this convention, I will say it again, I believe anybody watching this convention that was on the fence is going to vote for Trump after watching this convention. I really do. And, you know, many people have said, well, they're just catering to one aspect of the demographic, and that's the mental demographic that watches MSNBS every day, the CNNers, that 60 to frickin' Christ coming again group. You know, it's insane. Now, in all fairness, I want to give, because I have exchanged emails with David Sirota in the distant past, and I'm kind of in his camp as far as things go. So let's hear one more time.
Yeah, I get his emails.
Yeah, let's hear one more time from Rising on this very same issue that Christo brought about. So.
Earlier this month, Bloomberg reported the Biden campaign had rolled out a $3.5 trillion economic program promising to invest in clean energy. But as friend of the show David Sirota notes, before the convention Tuesday evening, Team Biden may have signaled a change in plans, citing the deficit that the country has from the Trump tax cuts and coronavirus.
Indeed, Joe Biden's one of his top advisors, top confidants, Ted Kaufman, revealed the pantry would be bare if Biden is elected come November, telling reporters a future Biden administration would be, quote, limited in federal spending. Editor-at-large of Jacobin, David Sirota, has been following the story and joins us now to talk about it. And I just want to read, David, first of all, great to see you as always. And I'm really glad that you highlighted this because basically no one else did. This was in an interview in the Wall Street Journal.
Well, that's not
and
true.
Didn't get any pickup until you really spotted it. What Ted Kaufman, who is a longtime confidant of Joe Biden, really has his ear. He's the one who we've been assured is really a secret progressive and is going to help push things in this FDR direction. He said directly, when we get in, the pantry is going to be bare. When you see what Trump's done to the deficit, forget about COVID-19, all the deficits that he built with the incredible tax cuts. So we are going to be limited. Tell me about the significance of this.
Well, Joe Biden has put forward a whole program that is about making major investments in the country. You've got him pushing for clean energy investments, him pushing for, all sorts of jobs programs, and he's talked about a public option. He's put forward, I think it was by one count, $3.5 trillion of proposed investments on his campaign platform. And then you have his top aide going out and telling reporters that actually we're not going to have any money to implement and do what we're actually proposing to do, which I should add is just not true. I mean, that's not how these things work. It's a very old school 1980s way of looking at budgeting and looking at economics. I mean, we're in the middle of a crisis right now, a public health crisis, a recession.
MMT,
to cut back and get deficit focused at this particular moment, it would be absolutely devastating. I mean, that would.
Yeah, it would be absolutely devastating. Look what austerity's done over in Europe.
Exactly.
I mean, it's basically destroying countries in Europe.
But, we've been programmed for our whole entire existence, Oz, to believe that our government runs our economy like we run the family checkbook. And that when we don't have any money, we're so broke, we have all these bills. But what they don't understand is that our tax dollars is our speculation. Our deficit is what we know we have. People need to get rid of the old school way of thinking about our economy.
Well, and that old school way of thinking is two-dimensional thinking.
Yep.
Two-dimensional. Like Sirota says, it's far more complex than that. It's not just taking a pencil and a piece of paper. Oh, the deficit's just way too high. So we
red and black. It's not like that.
It's not like that. It's not like that. And once again, it's MMT. It's the devaluation of the dollar. It's the dollar based on the petrodollar. It's the, it's
exactly.
It's the power of the military that shores up that petrodollar scam on the rest of the world so we can have our privileged lifestyles, no matter if we're living in a mobile home park or if we're living in a castle. Well, we know
it's how we're spending it. What is 53 cents of every dollar going to the military and industrial complex?
Jesus Christ, yes. And how much of every person's dollar that can afford the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, how much of their yearly income goes to pay for those costs of health insurance, for-profit health insurance? And then talk about the scams of how you're having to pay rent and how you're having to buy food and everything else. So, I mean, we could just go off on that. And this is something I would invite Brom and Snorky and Insight and Jilly and Melissa and Al and everybody to a round table on this. I would love to have a round table talking about this with people. And that's, that's just where I'm at. So, I mean,
Me too.
Bottom line on these two clips is Joe Biden's lying through his fucking rattling teeth, and he's saying whatever he can to win the election without crossing the line on Medicare for all and things like that. They're
don't piss
doubling
off
down
the donors.
Yeah, they don't want Medicare for all to be put in the minds of the public, and 80% want it now, I think, because of their
83% of Democrats want Medicare for all.
Yeah, because of their employer-tied shitty health medical insurance. It's not even health insurance; it's fuck you insurance. So, you wouldn't want to elect me for office because I'd go after all these profiteers who have, through their actions of denying medical treatment, have murdered people. Make me Attorney General and turn me into RoboCop and see what happens.
Well, we've got RoboCop. Don't push it. They'll roll him out.
No. That would be me. I want that. So anyway, I'm just so. It's just here we go again. Vote blue no matter who. Oh, Joe, he's the next coming of Christ. He's going to solve everything. And weren't we saying this back in Clinton days and? After Reagan, and then we had Bush come in, and then we were saying it about Obama.
But the boomers buy it. Shit, my own mother sat here and told me 2 nights ago that, the only good thing Clinton did was he got our deficit back out of the red.
Oh, fuck. Who gives a shit about the deficit? Clinton,
Mom, do you know what else he did?
Yeah, he murdered us. He murdered our ability to even fight these fuckers with the Telecommunications Act. And
killed jobs.
Killed jobs. And,
locked people up.
Oh my God, you guys. Anyway, Jesus. I'm rambling. Anyway, let's start. Let's do like Marcus does. And the good news is, good news.
Yeah, if you guys haven't checked out Marcus Conti, check out Marcus Conti.
Yeah, and Marcus at No Joke too. Marcus's are good. Now Rick's. I haven't had much luck with. But
now you're over my shoulder.
Yeah, I'm over your shoulder. Except I've got
I'm glitching out. Though.
I've got the glitchy face going on. But see, okay, Boomer. You want to plug this again here for everybody?
Okay, Boomer.
Yeah.
Beauty and the Boomer After Dark. So it's a new show Oz and I are rolling out where we're a little bit more lighthearted and
not so
serious. Yeah.
So
we rolled out a couple of days for the convention coverage. We had fun. I think our chat had fun. Our audience had fun. So Saturday we are going to do I don't know, our first real rollout of this show on YouTube. I think we're going to move to Rockfin with this show, right?
Yeah, we're going to move it over to Rockfin too after we roll it out. But it's going to be like SNL on steroids with the beauty, and then I'm going to be I'm going to be the fall guy for that show, I think. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun, and we're putting on a show for whoever wants to come and watch. And if the Beauty and the Boomer show, the Shanda and Oz show does good, great. We're going to have fun doing it though. So that's
the whole point.
That is the whole point. So we're going to go out today. I didn't get a lot of the chat comments in today because I'm multitasking in a severe way. But we have, how much I love Puddles Pity Party. Puddles right here. I love Puddles. Puddles is fantastic, and I think he was on America Got Talent and really boosted him to the top. Well, I ran across a video of a gentleman, Mike Greer, I think his name was, and he is a very close and intimate friend, I don't know how intimate, of Puddles. So Let's hear him.
Are you sure he's not related? He kind of looks like him.
He kind of does, but anyway, let's hear what he has to say about Puddles, our friend Puddles, and we're going to go out with a song.
Early life.
Puddles.
I'd love to know what he was like as a kid. You know.
Well, his he doesn't talk a lot about it, but his he lived with his Meemaw and his Pawpaw. And his Pawpaw was had a fishing boat, I think a shrimp boat.
Okay.
And so he would go out on the shrimp boat with his Pawpaw, and like a couple guys, but he would always have this kind of song and dance thing that he was always kind of into. So his Pawpaw would put him to work, and then when at lunch, he would put on these little like kind of vaudeville shows for the guys on the boat, and they would pay him in shrimp.
Pay him in shrimp.
That's where he got his love of shrimp cocktail.
Okay.
His favorite kind.
I was curious about that. Yeah. Why do you think it is that he's resonated with so many people?
Well, he doesn't talk.
Yeah.
He just sings.
A lot of people are talking all the time.
Too much talk in the world.
There's a lot of talking.
Yeah.
So he doesn't talk, so it slows everything down.
Right.
And sometimes you just gotta slow it down. And he wears his emotions on his sleeve.
Yeah.
Which is kind of frowned upon. You know,
Yeah.
people aren't. You know, everybody's got to suck it up or whatever it is, and he's like.
I think this
he just
guy knows
feels the way
him
he
a
feels.
little
It's
too
a sad,
much.
beautiful world.
What do you mean?
I think this might be Puddles.
What Puddles? Is that really Puddles?
I think it might be.
Might be Puddles. Yeah, no, the
Puddles.
joke is that is Puddles.
That is Puddles.
That is Puddles. I never knew that he was an actual human being. I thought he was this,
You just thought he was a year-round
I thought
clown.
he was a very well...
Wakes up in his clown costume.
very talented robot killer clown from Mercury. And
Out of
I
space.
really did. But, you know, I Mike Greer. Big Mike Greer, Puddles.
Mike Greer.
Puddles Pity Party. I mean, this guy's got pipes, man. I just really
Yeah, he
enjoy
does.
it. So
I love his voice,
I
too.
think in honor of Joe Biden being the being the Democratic nominee for president, we need to have Puddles serenade him with a song appropriate to that. What do you think? What do you think we do?
I think that would be very fitting, and I think you guys should stay tuned to Uphill Media today and tomorrow because we got a lot of amazing shows rolling out in the next 24.
Yeah, what do we got going on today? The rest of the day?
We got Joy and the Unruly Hour. Who's she got on tonight?
She has Nicholas Brana, and we
Nick
there's that
Brianna.
hummingbird again. God, I love
Yeah,
that
I
hummingbird.
see the beautiful boy. That is looking a little more smoky over down there in La Honda, California.
Honda. You got the accidental activist, right?
Accidental activist with political analyst and blogger James O'Neill.
James O'Neill, cool. And who's going to be doing the interview?
I am.
You are. Oh, that's right. You are the accidental activist, the serious blonde,
The serious blonde.
the hostess with the mostest. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
And then no joke tomorrow morning.
There will be no joke tomorrow morning.
Marcus is on vacay. Have fun on the islands. And then tomorrow we're going to roll out Beauty and the Boomer. Okay, Boomer.
Beauty and the Boomer. Okay. So anyway, thanks everybody. Thanks, Brom. Thanks, Melissa Heumann. Glad to see you made it. Brent McKinney. I just saw you, man. Oh, sorry. Good to see you.
Snork.
Snorky.
Jose.
Snorky. Snorky.
Jesus.
Jesus. Yeah, Jesus. I didn't shout out to Jesus. If I missed anybody, I truly apologize. And thanks again, everybody who's been jumping in the chats. This week, like I said, tonight, 6 with Joy, 7 for Shanda. We'll probably run a couple of minutes late with the Accidental Activist. Hopefully not, but I've got to do some finagling. So let's go out. This one goes out to Joe Biden, presidential candidate extraordinary.
Our nominee.
Our nominee, the second coming of Jesus Christ. And he's going to be under a little bit of pressure. So here we go. Go, Joe,
From me.
go.
Pressure pressing down on me, pressing down on you. No man asked for. Under pressure that burns a building down, splits a family in two, puts people on the streets. Eat it all up, eat it all up, eat it all, eat it all. this world is about. Watching some good friends stream. Let me out! Play tomorrow. Get me higher. Pressure on people on streets. Chipping around, kick my brains across the floor. These are the days it never rains, but it pours. Eat it all up, eat it all up, eat it up, all up. Oh, now people on the streets need to eat up, eat. People on the streets need to eat up, eat up, eat up. It's the terror of knowing what this world is about. Watching some good friends stream. Let me out! Pray tomorrow. Get me higher, higher. Oh! Turn away from it all like a blind man. Sat on the fence, but it don't work. Keep coming up with love, but it's so scratched and torn. Why? Oh, insanity laughs under pressure. We're cracking. Can't we give ourselves one more chance? Why can't we give love one more chance? Why can't we give love, give love, give love, give love, give love, give love, give love? 'Cause love's such an old-fashioned word, and love dares you to care for the people on the edge of the night, and love dares you to change our way of caring about ourselves. This is our last chance. This is our last dance. This is ourselves under pressure. Under pressure. Under pressure. Under pressure. Let it go, let it go, and we'll rise like the break of dawn. Let it go, let it go. That perfect girl.